Hello there, I'm Gary Dorman from Gary Lee Panel Craft. Today we're going to be showing you different aspects of paintwork to car bodies. Now the car body repair's all done, it's all in primer, all looking nice. For rubbing this down, before we spray it, we put a guide coat on there, which basically is in this situation, it's an aerosol black. Just so when you're rubbing it down, any little impurities will then show up a lot easier than by just rubbing it down and looking at it, because it'll show up as a dark line. So the vehicle's in primer, give the aerosol a real good shake, make sure you're well ventilated, and just dust a bit on, nice and lightly, over the primed area. And how that is there, when you go to wet flat that all down. Any little naughty bits you can see and you can sort them out. That's the guide coat. You're now ready to be demasked and then remasked up and rubbed down for spraying. We've prepped up the bumper, it's all been primed, it's all been guide coated. Now we've got to mask the area up. Sometimes you can take the bumpers off. Normally there's a lot of work involved taking the bumper off, especially if you're just doing one little corner. We prefer to leave them on. In general, most people, it's a better way of doing repairs instead of removing parts. So we're only doing this corner, so there's no need to take it off. So we've got masked the surrounding areas up. So how I've masked that through there, I'll continue it through there. And that mask tape. So put one layer around the edges, then you'll infill here with paper, because otherwise if you sprayed here, the overspray would all go over here. On the plastics, where you've got a black bit of plastic, you can buy panel wipes to remove all the residue that's been put there over the years. We prefer to use a little bit of cellulose thinners. It's a very strong abrasive, but it's the only thing that seems to clear off all the rubbish that's been there in the past and get it nice and clean. Doing it this way, the masking tape sticks. Normally with the panel wipe, it doesn't. The only trouble with doing things down here is that make sure you've got your overalls on. You need to get right down there so you can get your nice line and to mask it up nice and professionally. Unless you're right down with it, you're not going to get your edges done properly. Around the corners, the best way to do it is to cut off a bit of masking tape. Just work your way around. Bit tricky. Make sure you keep your eyes on what you're doing. In general, you'll be fine. That masking tape is sticking to that absolutely lovely. And that corner that I've missed. I'll infill now. A little bit of a dodgy edge there. Infill the rest of it with the wider tape. If you don't mask up this inside area for priming or for painting, you will get so much overspray on there that it will take you hours to get off, in comparison with spending 5 minutes masking it up nicely. As I say, very tricky. And I've been doing this for the last 30 years, so good luck. You're gonna need it. That's this area, all masked up, all nicely completed. And that's the area prepped up, and it's ready now to be wet flatted and then painted. Bumper repairs. It's all in primer, been guide coated. Now we're going to rub it down to get ready to spray it. The same procedure as what I would do on a bodywork. It all works out the same. I'm using a 400 rubbing down paper to rub down the top surface of there, and I will finish it off with a finer rubbing down paper. Exactly the same procedure as you do with any bodywork. Always start off on the coarser ones, always go to the finer ones. The finer the finished job is, the better the job will be, because less scratches. And that's the biggest problem you have with any sort of paint work, is getting rid of all the scratches, so when you put the paint on, it goes on nice and smooth. So how that bumper is sitting there now, going to give it a dry flat over the top. There's no repairs anywhere, so all I want to do is just take the primer off the vehicle, top surface of the vehicle, to get it all nice and smooth. Leave a nice surface when we put the top coat on. Painting this corner of the bumper, I'm going to be blending the colour through. So I want to try and keep it as small as possible. Pat the material every now and then to get the primer which is stuck on the paper. I will remove most of the guide coat, but in general all of it doesn't need to come off, as long as the shape is all looking good. Lovely. Now we're going to go on to wet flatting. My bucket of water, my P800 wet and dry. Try and start off on a certain area so you know what you've done and what you haven't. Try not to stay in the same area. If you rub down a little bit there, you'll make it an indent. Always work it on a larger repair. Just go over the area. It's about getting nice straight lines. Look at my fingers, they're nice and flat. In that case, I'm using the palm of my hand. So the whole area will all be cut back, all nice and straight, all on the same level. Always listen as you're rubbing down, especially on these bottom corners. I just felt a little bit of grit go onto my paper. You normally hear it. It feels like there's some foreign body there, and a bit of grit, a bit of muck, a bit of mud or whatever will scratch the life out of the car. You don't want that, that will cause you more problems. So if that happens, dip your paper back into your bucket and carry on. I'm sitting on a bit of cloth. You can use a knee pad. Just it becomes a little bit more comfortable. It's not very good for your body to have your knees straight onto a bit of concrete. Make sure the edge is all nice. I've got a bit of 2000 here, which I'm just going to use to flick round the surrounding areas. Wherever the 800 paper is, you need to spray over the top of that. If you don't spray it, it will show up as a rubbing down mark. When you get a nice finish on your car, you don't want to be seeing a rubbing down mark. So the little bits of overspray which continue along the vehicle, a bit of 2000 takes that off, and you haven't got to spray over 2000. The other thing that I use is a grey scotch. A red scotch is too coarse, which you can use for when you want to put the car in primer in the first place. But for painting, for blending out, use a grey one. Make sure you go right into all the corners and the edges. If it's going to flake, that's where it'll flake. In general, it won't flake from a centre area here. It'll always be from a corner where you get a bit of paint build up and it hasn't been rubbed down at all. Just got right around those corners and areas. Give it a good rub down. I'm going to blend the lacquer out to this area here. So I'm making sure I get a good rub down on there. Put a little bit of pressure on there. You don't want to be going over it in 6 months' time, redoing all your flaky paint. Any flaky paint problems, it's such a big thing to have to redo again, so you're better off to make sure you rub all your edges down nice. Getting a bit of cloth, wiping over the area. So it's been 800, 2000, where I'm going to be blending to. Taking all the overspray off, keeping the area as small as I possibly can. I'm now using a clean, dry cloth to wipe over everything that's been wet flatted off. And all the time I'm fully focused on what I'm doing, just checking that everything is all looking nice and pretty. What you don't want to have to do is you get ready to start spraying it and then you realise you've missed a bit. This area now is all ready to be painted. This car now will be masked up, wet flatted. The only other thing to do is the tack cloth. Sticky bit of cloth, which when you're all ready to spray, literally, I would tack cloth it now, get all the impurities off. And when you're ready to spray, you've got the paint mixed up in the gun, and you're all ready to spray, tack cloth it again. Same with most things you do on the DIY side, it's the preparation. The better the preparation is, the better the finished job will turn out. So always make sure your presentation and your preparation is as best as you can get it. If something feels rough, in general, when you finish spraying it, or when the job's finished, it will be rough. Now, you can see on the guide coat, a little bit there I've missed. You see the guide coat in that top area there? Just a little bit rough. So I'll just go over that area again. Get a little nib off. And just by doing that, will just make so much difference. It just tidies up that top area where before it would have been just a little bit rough. Now I'll take the guide coat off of there, a little bit more. It's all lovely and smooth. I'll get the grey scotch in there. Make sure it's all nicely rubbed down right inside that crack. When tack clothing, I'd normally have a blower with it as well, or the spray gun. So any little particles of dust as you're blowing and your tack clothing off will be removed, leaving you with a perfect finished, lovely flat matte finish, ready to be base coated on these areas, blend the colour through, lacquer the whole surrounding areas, job done. It's the same theory on bodywork as it is on a bumper. The areas that are in prime, this area around here, you put your base coat colour on. You will then blend the colour through this area here. From big volumes, lots of volumes of paint, to lesser volume of paint. Feather the colour out through this area here, which you just go and you're spraying. Lighter coat and you lacquer to another edge further down, around this sort of area here. Always go for a smaller area. You don't want to be blending the colour out there. To try and get it all shiny from old paint to new paint there is a lot harder than doing it from a little area like here. So I'd want to lacquer to here, blend the colour through this little strip here, and that way all you've got to do is polish back this little strip here, job done. Hope what we've explained to you today has come in useful. If there's any other problems, you can check out our website or give us a phone call and we'll be glad to help you out.